Let's take this conversation a little bit further in the world of energy, because the Milken-Motsepe Prize in Green Energy was launched to incentivize entrepreneurs around the world to expand access to reliable, affordable, and sustainable electricity. Now, following a year-long, in-depth process that included 24 continuous hours of field testing in South Africa for each entrant, the Milken-Motsepe Prize in Green Energy has spotlighted the 5 finalist companies and their innovations and announced the winner of the $1 million grand prize. Now, these panelists were speaking at a global conference in South Africa a few days ago, deliberating on the power of ideas and innovation, advancements in energy access, and the shared vision of long-term economic growth and shared prosperity. Take a listen.
Their view of the world of opportunities for all, our bridge, particularly to sub-Saharan Africa, where the largest number of the children will be born in the world over this century, and the future gives us such hope and opportunity. A number of years ago, I did a podcast with Strive, who was on previously, and with Patrice when we were in Johannesburg. And we had 4 million entrepreneurs in Nigeria tune in and watch that show. So most people's impression of sub-Saharan Africa isn't necessarily accurate because you haven't visited it. And many people at our conference might have visited and gone on safari, but didn't really get a chance to see Africa. And my own personal views are in the balance of this century, that it might not make any difference what you did any place else in the world if you haven't created these opportunities in sub-Saharan Africa. And when you want to understand sub-Saharan Africa and its future, yes, Patrice is the president of the football, i.e. soccer, organization there, but seeing Africa and the world through Precious and Patrice's eyes has been one of the greatest learning experiences I've had over the past decade.
Why is business creation and tech innovation so critical to the heart of the Milken-Motsepe Innovation Prize program?
Well, let me start by thanking Mike and saying what a great honor and a great privilege it's been for me and for Precious to work with you and to be inspired by the outstanding work you do, but also the focus and the belief that you have in Africa and the developing world. Because we look at the world through different eyes, in the sense that in the business community, when I travel to talk to my shareholders, they want results. What's happening to the share price? What's happening to the dividends? And when you look at Africa in that context, because investors all over the world don't have to invest in Africa. There are other parts of the world that are extremely competitive. The Milken-Motsepe Prize gives me so much confidence and hope, because it's a reflection of the enormous opportunity in the continent. For the last 30 years, when Nelson Mandela came out of jail, all over the world was saying, it is Africa's time. But it's like having 2 American football clubs, or even 2 basketball teams. None of them has an entitlement to win. Victory is not guaranteed. You've got to go out there, work hard, train before, and make it happen. So what we have seen over the last 30, 35, 40 years is Africa is indeed moving in the right direction. Strive made a very good remark in the earlier session. And if you look at the youth in the continent, some of whom studied in the best universities in America, are inspired by America, are inspired by people like Mike, Milken, and what this country stands for. So I just want to conclude that I think this Milken-Motsepe Prize is going to significantly not just fulfill but surpass our greatest expectations in terms of what entrepreneurship and what creativity, innovation could mean. Today we're talking about the green prize and green energy, but it extends way beyond that. So I just want to conclude by once more what Mike Milken is doing and the Institute, really, from an African and from a developing world perspective. It's not just about Africa, even though Africa's focus has got enormous opportunities for the world and for the African continent.
Emily, I just want to make one other point here. 60 plus years ago, 75% of everyone not born in the United States was born in Europe. Today, there are more people in the United States who were born in sub-Saharan Africa than were born in Europe. And so in many ways, many of these entrepreneurs have come, or people are going to change the world, to the United States. And we also want to make sure, and they want to make sure, that where their families are and where they came from has the same opportunities. So there's a bridge being built here between the United States and sub-Saharan Africa. And this prize that Patrice and Precious have really created is kind of a search in the world for who are those with the best answers. And the first prize in agriculture, every single winner was based in Africa, even though people from 100 countries competed. And it was testimony to the potential of the continent.